Oké, we zijn live, Joen.
We're live?
Yes, we are.
Power to the people.
Power to the people, ja. Ik ga even iets delen nog. We zijn live.
We are live.
We are live. Yes. Nou moet ik even hier zorgen dat ik zie of we überhaupt kijkers hebben en of de chat... Oh ja.
Dude.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna check out whether we have some people in the chat and whether we're live. Yes, we have viewers already, Joen.
Do we?
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning to you all. Well, still 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
It's not very cozy.
No.
But we're going to talk about power filtering. And we have 4 contenders. This time we have the Audioquest Niagara 3000, which is brand new. And I'm gonna mute one of the mics. This one. Yeah. We have the Audioquest Niagara 3000, which is brand new. It's launched now, I think.
Yeah.
And we have the Hydra, the Shunyata Hydra Delta 6. And we have the Torus TOT Power, the TOT Max, Total Max, and it's a big transformer like we're used to from Torus Power. Well, Mark is in there. Let me know if the volume is okay like this.
We have the ISO.
No, I'm not gonna do the ISOTech because it's only for power amps.
Because
And
you
it's
said 4.
yeah, and we have the Kemp Power Strip 8 Plus.
Sure, we do.
Well, the Niagara 3000 is around 3,000 euros. The Hydra is, I thought it was 2,400. 2,700. And the Torus Power is 2,300. And the Kemp, what do you think? The 8 Plus?
1,600?
No. It's 1,100.
Wow.
But we have a reference power cord, which is more expensive. So that brings the total to 1,600.
You need a cord with it. Yeah.
Now you get one, but it's not that great. Kemp said that himself, Ronald Kemp. But I think the reference power cord is indeed a lot better, and it's worth the price.
But still, it's a lot of, with power cable, reference cable,
it's a lot cheaper.
The same price, the half of the price of the Audioquest.
Yeah, the Audioquest is the most expensive, but it can do a lot more than the others. Yeah. It has a battery power supply, sort of a battery power supply for the power amps and dynamic current delivery. The Shunyata does it a little bit differently. Well, good morning to you all. And the Torus Power is purely a galvanic isolation. So that's a little bit different. Do you use power?
I do. I have a Van Metervoort.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The small box.
The PFM2.
Yeah. Very good.
It's a nice, yeah.
For sources, that is, not for power. And I used to have, I still have. I think it's a very early ISOTech filter with 2 outlets, digital and analog.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit pyramid-like shaped of aluminum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that one. Yeah. Well, to all our viewers, do you use power conditioning? And if you do, what kind of? And are you happy with it? We would like to know. I use a Van Metervoort as well at home.
At home, yeah.
PFM2 only for sources. And I have a couple of parallel filters, the small ones, from Kemp and ISOTech. And I'm quite happy with it.
Oh yes, and for the studio we use Furman.
Oh, Furman,
that's the same as you have. It's for more the spike and surge stuff. Furman is a brand. Usually, it's meant for when you play outside with generators.
Yeah.
They are spike and surge, and you need this thing to protect your gear because sometimes there's a power breakdown or there is a peak, and you need it. And if actually you have we have one here in the server room.
Yeah, we definitely need it.
And it's,
Yeah, sometimes I hear a big boom going through the firmament, and then I'm like, yes, you saved my servers.
But sound-wise, it isn't the most refined.
No, it's horrible, to be honest. You don't want to power your hi-fi system with it, but it's good for protection, and for a computer server or a switch or anything else, it doesn't matter how it sounds. It protects very, very well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about power filtering for a short time. I'm going to try to keep it short because you want to listen in, and I get that. But it's good to know that there are different flavors in power conditioning. And I'm going to get a little bit technical now. If you want to read a good piece about power conditioning and how it works, I'm not going to do a commercial. But one always calls when we're in a live stream. I'm not going to do a commercial, but on the website of Audioquest there is a white paper written by Garth Powell, and there are no brand names in that white paper, and it's very, very well written. So I suggest you read in on that if you're interested in the technology behind power filtering. In basics, there are two forms of filtering, two forms of noise. You have the common mode and you have the differential mode noise. And differential mode is it's hard to say in English, but it's in the opposite direction of the current stream, if I have to say it very simply. Common mode is in the same direction, and how you filter that kind of noise it takes a different approach. Mostly you use a big toroidal transformer to get rid of common mode noise, and you need a different kind of circuitry for differential mode noise. Because if you put a big chunk of copper inside, and you have the primary winding and you have the secondary winding in that transformer, you put a Faraday field in between, and that filters all the common mode noise because it's in the same direction, so it can't get through. But if you have differential mode noise, it goes in a different direction, so the whole Faraday field won't work. It will still get through because it's in the opposite direction. So if you have a power conditioner sitting there, you need to know what kind of noise do I need to filter. Well, you need both if you want to do everything. Common mode is quite easy, but it takes a big chunk of copper to get rid of it. So a lot of people, and I'm going to say it only once, a lot of people say, yeah, I have a big power amplifier, I have a toroidal transformer inside, and gelijkrichter, some diodes, I don't know how to say it in English. Sorry.
You have to put your sound off.
Yeah. So it will get rid of all that noise. No, it won't. It won't get rid of all the noise because the power supply needs to power your speakers. And if you want to have a good filter, take a look at how big those filters are. They're huge and they're very, very expensive. With reason, because the technology is very difficult. It's very complex. So there are two kinds of noise, common mode and differential mode, and they both need a different approach. Then we still have ground noise. And it's funny, because Garth Powell made me aware that you need to get rid of ground noise because it's a big antenna. Shunyata is the other party that gets rid of ground noise in a different way than Audioquest, but they both say the same: you need to get rid of noise on the ground. So that's the third one. Then you have two types of filters. You have a serial filter and you have a parallel filter. Well, parallel filters, I'm gonna grab one to show you. We have a lot of them. And now everything sounds bad. Parallel filters mostly come in this form. They're small. And in basics, they couple the neutral line with the hot line. So it doesn't filter, it only redirects the noise. but it's an effective way to get rid of some noise, and it won't end up in the circuitry, so it's redirected. There are different ways to create a parallel filter. Isotech doesn't just couple the neutral with the hot wire. PS Audio doesn't as well, but that's the basic way to do parallel filtering. Serial filtering actually puts a filter inside the chain, yeah. And it's very, very effective, yeah. But you lose energy. It transforms the noise into heat, and that's a good way to get rid of it. That's actually how Audioquest gets rid of the noise on the ground line. But it makes the system slower. So serial filtering is mostly effective for sources that don't need a huge amount of power. But if you put a power amplifier in a serial filter, you will instantly hear that it gets slower. And that's because of a various amount of reasons. But then we sometimes get the question, why don't you use battery power? You almost took your battery with you.
Yeah, next time we'll do it.
But yeah. Batteries, you need a huge amount of batteries to power your system.
Yeah.
It's expensive to do it,
yeah.
And you need a rectifier,
yeah.
to do it the right way. So it's hard to do everything on batteries, and batteries have noise as well.
That's what I heard last time, that batteries are not noise free.
No, they're not. And I have a measuring device, and it's a pity you couldn't get your battery out of the boat into the car.
Battery powered boat, but it's
yeah.
And I have a pretty good rectifier, so we'll try that.
Yeah. So that's that's the theory in I think 10 minutes. Yeah. If you want to know more, we're gonna write about this subject. Of course, I'm gonna write an article about these power filters, and then I'll explain in more detail what serial filtering is, parallel filtering is, common mode, differential mode, because it's important to know what a device like this does and why you need it nowadays.
Well, to break it down to the main message of this Friday morning is that, you know, people ask, hey, should I change my interlinks or my speaker cables or maybe my source, and we often say, well, your power cord might be the most important thing you could use to improve your system, and in addition to that, you know, everything we perceive as music is power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a transformation of power.
It's a transformation of power.
Yeah, yeah. In basics, it is.
So when the power supply and the whole chain of power handling is not distortion free,
no.
Then you can have serious problems. Reversely, when you have good filters, it really adds something to your sonic
experience
and to the system. Even with the heavy power hungry power amps.
Definitely. There are two cases. Three actually. There were 3 cases in my audio career that I noticed that either a filter worked or not. The first one was when we put in LED lighting throughout the whole house, and I was sitting down in the evening and I thought, wow, I'm saving power now. That's a good thing. But the early LED lights had a huge amount of noise. It's ridiculous, the old ones. And I noticed that my system wasn't sounding as I was used to. So that was one. Then I borrowed a couple of parallel filters, and it was so much better after that. It was crazy. The second one was when I bought the NAD M12, and I used the same filter from Van Medevoort, the PFM2, and it sounded horrible. But the M12 doesn't like filtering. So it can also do some bad stuff.
So why is that?
It's because of the DDFA technology. The direct digital technology doesn't like filtering. It's so quick. Every filter you put inside the
system.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. And NAD knows that. It says don't, just don't. And the third one was with the Isotech Titan. I didn't expect it to be better. So I challenged Isotech, Keith. Said, yeah, sure, your filter can handle my Bryston. Of course, sure, send it in. And I was expecting it to be dull and slow and horrible, but it was a huge improvement. And I didn't expect that. So people always try a filter before you buy it. Never, ever buy a filter without trying it. That's my advice.
Well, my experience with most impressive one was also with Keith, actually.
Yeah.
His home system, and we only he had a VPI turntable with, of course, everything is nice, but the only thing what we did is to decouple the power supply of the motor of the record player.
Yeah.
Which was attached to the flagship. Was it the?
I think
Evo?
It was the Sigma. No, not the Sigma.
Was huge, two of these. So imagine only the power supply of the motor that drives the turntable, and the difference. The whole soundstage collapsed.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a high-end system where you hear everything, but there is so much. It proved to me that power supply and clean power and all that does so much with with the sound. It's amazing in the music.
Shall we do the first demo?
Yeah.
I'm gonna create a bass line for you. So I'm gonna plug in everything into the Kemp, just the Kemp. I'm not gonna use the Isotech Titan this time because it's too expensive and it's only for power amps. So that's out of the equation now. I'm gonna put the Bryston into the Kemp, and everything is connected to that power strip. So that's our baseline. After that, we're gonna do the Audioquest Niagara 3000, then the Hydra, then the Torus. All right. So I'm not static now. That's a good thing. I need to know. Okay. So Jung, which song are we gonna listen to?
Oh, do you have? Okay. Well, we in order to avoid copyright issues, I chose some music people I know.
Mm-hmm.
I to be honest, I have to ask them yet if I may use it, but
we got banned from YouTube last time. That wasn't good.
He's trying to find my. Oh, I think I'm not in Alpha Media.
Yeah, you're on the wrong network, man. Okay.
Maybe piano first to start Friday morning.
Yeah, it's good. We're gonna do some piano piece from Meridian. I'm gonna start it in. It's okay.
Shit.
Okay, we're gonna switch off these mics and just the other one. So this was a piece of piano. It's from an MQA demo album, and it's a very well recorded piece of piano. But honestly, I got used to the Titan so quickly that I'm kind of ignored by the harsh higher notes in this in this piece. It's a difficult piece. Piano is always very, very difficult. Let's put in the Bryston in the Audioquest. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna...
You do it?
Yeah, I'll put in the power amp in the Audioquest. I need to polarize it, so it takes a while. So Jung, maybe you can enjoy entertaining our guests.
Yeah, I know I am a piano player, but there's no piano, so I would love to entertain you with some piano music. But why is piano so difficult? Because it has enormous dynamic range. Not only because there are 88 keys, but with the grand piano, imagine there are. I think this is a grand piano, a concert one, so 2 meter 80s in length. So what you hear is, and it has a very complicated, complex mid-range. So both recording and listening to auditioning piano is very, very difficult. And it reveals the flaws of a system. And it's also very interesting to, you have different recording techniques for piano. You can do it either very close, but then you need a lot of mics above and below the piano, and a room mic for recording the atmosphere and the effects in the room, such as reverb and reflections. Or you can do it from a distance, let's say 3 meters from the piano, and then you get much more the ambience of the piano, but the sound is very, very different. It's literally more from a distance. Actually, yeah, there are 2 possibilities, and mostly in classical music they do the remote way, so they put the microphone just like in concerts in the ORTF or XY setup, and in jazz and in modern music they have more close miking.
Cool. I'll explain shortly what we do. Every time we connect a device, we use the ultimate polarity checker from Kemp. That way we know the polarity is right, because it has an influence on the sound. Simple as that. Okay, so now we connected the Niagara 3000 to the Bryston. Let's start it in. Thank you.
Did you hear the difference?
We're
about
curious.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Did you hear a difference? We did on the couch. And Jules, I'm gonna try to get the name of the cable.
Well, at the beginning, about 20 seconds, there is a pianist plays, I think, a third octave from C0, concert C0.
Yeah.
Pretty loud, and at the Kemp it was kind of harsh.
Yeah, it was fair. It pressed on the ears the hard notes.
Yeah.
They were not very relaxing to listen to.
Yeah, and here what we heard that there was more soundstage.
Yeah, definitely.
With the Niagara.
Yeah.
And indeed, because of what I told you, the mid range is very dominant in piano.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is in your face, and when it somehow good filters dissipate the mid range, it gets more relaxed. It gets less pressing.
Yeah, I always call it pressing. The pressing mid range it's really in your face and harsh, like a resonance.
Yeah,
and of course the piano has some resonances and harmonics. But on the Kemp it was a little bit too much.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's try the metrum, also on the Niagara.
Because
that's a source. That's different.
All devices claim they can handle both power amplifiers and sources.
Some say it's mellower. I think that's the right word. Mellow. Yeah, it was more mellower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can listen to this for a longer time than the Kemp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the metrum in the Audioquest, so I need a minute.
Do you want? Okay, we of course we have more music to.
Yeah, we can take the piano piece and after that another piece, and then we go to the Shunyata. Okay.
Well, it's good maybe to have more pieces of music to compare it with.
Yeah. Naar rechts.
Do you need a hand? Put the Shunyata closer, maybe.
I'm gonna try the. Woo! Tight sockets, really tight. Okay.
And the brightness also in the.
Yeah.
So both are.
In the Audioquest now.
In the Audioquest.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's try it again with the same song, I guess.
I need to.
I have it.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's playing.
back. Okay, we are back. Sorry, I clapped. It's hard, I know. We're curious, did you hear a difference? Mark says, yeah, I would say the mid-range is more focused, better defined. I totally agree. This was, I think, the same step in mellowness.
Oh yeah.
Compared to the Kemp. Remember, this one is 3,000 euros. The Kemp is only 1,100 with the standard cable. Yeah, but in this system, you definitely hear a big difference.
What's the technique behind the Kemp? Is it the same because it's
No.
smaller than
No,
the
it's a lot. It's hugely different.
Yeah.
The Kemp is a parallel filtered distribution block. The cabling is in a star diagram. Yeah, this, but it has two additions. It has a QA module and a WA module inside, so it presents a little bit bigger because of those extra technologies inside. But you can say the Kemp is a very good distribution block with some filtering inside. It does a good job, but yeah, the Niagara 3000 is better. I don't hear a lot of coloration.
No.
I hear more calmness and more focus. So the notes on the piano, you can follow them a lot better than with the Kemp, I would say. But people, someone asked, do we have a separate audio group for power inside? No, we're in a factory. So this is the worst.
Next to us there is the vinyl pressing plant.
Yeah.
From yeah, the power consumption over there is huge. Sometimes we smell, oil or vinyl or whatever, or sometimes.
Yeah. They have a huge gas burning oven for heating up the water. They have a huge high power, high current power group for all the vinyl pressers. Yeah, it's a factory for vinyl, music vinyl. So, yeah, you can't get any worse than this. I'll show you. That's gonna be fun. Let me see if I am on camera. Yeah, we are. Okay, that's good. This is our measurement device.
It measures
almost 700
disturbances in the power network.
Yeah. And normally it's on maxed out, but we have 3 filters now. Now the Kemp and the Niagara.
Can you put it
connected.
in a Niagara?
Yeah, I can, of course. Yeah.
So it was 679, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 679 it was. Now we have, I think, 0. Let me see.
0.
It's totally quiet now, and it's on 0, like it's supposed to be. The high current output, I think, isn't. Let me check. Well, 0.
And on the Kemp?
That's a big difference with the Niagara 1200, because that doesn't go to 0. So it is a different device.
And just put it in the Kemp?
Yeah, there's a lot connected, so it's not fair.
Oh, you have to unplug the other stuff.
You have to unplug all the others in order to check it out. But we'll go to the Hydra now. So this was let me see if that's possible.
What do you want?
We have to be fair. So I'll put it in the same socket.
Yes.
I'll be careful, Jules.
Is he watching?
Yeah, he's watching. He's watching us.
Hey, Jules, how you doing, man?
So the Niagara now is disconnected, and we're gonna plug in. Let me see. I need my polarity checker. Here it is.
What up?
I need to check it again. I hate this. Oh, it's down. Okay, that's not good. I need to twist this. Power is always hard, Jung. Let me see.
Maybe you could share then what you're doing, because.
Well, you need to always check your polarity, and these microphones are off. You always need to check your polarity, because if you twist it, your phase is different and your imaging is gone. And it's very subtle, but you definitely hear it.
But do you need a device like that to check? Because I have this, simple screwdriver with a.
Yeah, you need to, because you don't know how the windings inside are. So you check the phase, and if you phase align everything, it might be different inside the device, so they can.
So it can change.
Yeah.
So if the microphones on the front are off, but what Jaap is doing right now is to check the polarity of all the devices connected, and we have a very sophisticated thingy for that. And of course, what you have at home is your screwdriver with a small light on it, and on devices mostly, sometimes on either side there is a red sticker attached, but since you're in a chain of devices with transformers, it can reverse the polarity inside. So what goes in as plus or minus can go out in reverse order.
This is a hard one.
So whilst Jaap is trying to get all the plugs in, it really is important to have your polarity and your phase right, because if not, you lose your soundstage. And
man, this is a hard one.
Yeah,
it is fighting back.
It's really a hydra.
Jeez, that's ridiculous, honestly. All right. Yeah, we're back.
So it's all connected now in the right polarity. Let's hope.
Let's hope.
You hook up the mics.
These are in. This needs to be in. Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, sorry guys, that was a tough one.
Is the microphone on?
Yeah, it is now. What? Same track. Let's go. All right. We got back from the track. What do you think? We heard a difference in signature. We hope you can hear that as well. I noticed I didn't put the curtain back in a decent way, but I hope you didn't see that. Yeah, you notice that it doesn't matter how much a device costs, they don't sound the same. A power filter needs to be considered as a piece of your hi-fi system. And whether the Audioquest, the Hydra, or we're going to try the Torus power now, is better is completely dependent on the system, I think.
Yeah. I perceived that it was maybe a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nuances and it sounded different. I don't know.
It's different.
We're going to listen to more tracks.
Yeah, we're gonna try this track
really
on the
get
Torus.
The grips on it yet, but it was nice.
It was better than.
I think the resolution was also.
Yeah.
Nice and well done.
Definitely.
But I hope you also could hear that these devices differ quite.
This is gonna be a hard one. Don't. I'll use the Audioquest cable on this one.
Okay.
Okay. If you.
Powerlifting. Yes.
Oh, it's small, but it's
100 points for Mr. Vesterman.
It's extremely heavy, and this is one of those galvanic isolation systems. It has 3 toroidal transformers inside, and it weighs, I think, around 20 something kilos. It's ridiculous.
So what do you want to do with it?
I'm gonna put it on the table. I must admit, by far the most heaviest one. Be careful.
Yeah, this one is okay.
Okay, I need my analyzer thingy.
It was at the back of the. Oh, here, behind you.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Okay, like this. Out.
The Hydra is very light.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dig.
Oh, it's the wrong one. Sorry. 131. Ja. Oké. Deze moet zo. And now this one. Right. We got them. I love balanced cables. So much easier. Good. Yeah, it's on. Let's getting oh, let's measure it. Nah, it's not 0.
Not 0?
0. Should be.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Mics on?
Yeah, they are. We're gonna switch our mics off again, and you can listen to the same piano piece on the Torus. After that, we go to some different music. Oh, shoot. Yeah, start again. Well, it's cool because someone said it's softer like the Audioquest. Yes, it is. It's definitely softer than the Shunyata. Now this is a pretty revealing system and the vocals are pretty high in energy. I think that's why this matches, but the Shunyata could match on a system like Din Audio with Moon, for example. But it's cool that you hear the differences. Is it me or is it more dynamic? Yeah, could be. It's softer in the higher frequencies, I think. And
sounds more, softer.
Fluid.
Like a soft lens, a little bit on it.
Well, our audience is hearing the same things. That's cool.
So we can go home.
We can go home now. We're finished. Now we're gonna do some different music because this is only piano, and piano is very, very hard to reproduce. I think it's the hardest instrument to reproduce on a hi-fi system. So if this sounds right, most of the time all the other stuff will sound right as well.
So we'll try some dance music.
Some dance funky. Yeah. This is different. Well,
guys awake?
We are all awake now.
This is on the track. This is Ryle. Ryle is a German or a Danish producer, DJ.
Yeah.
And I bought, I think, and reviewed his record. And for the review, I asked, because I didn't have the uncompressed files, and he sent me the WAV files from his computer. So this is really
uncompressed stuff.
This is directly from the master version, I guess.
Yeah, well, it sounds quite okay.
And when I first heard it on the radio, I thought it was like a 70s song, but it is just I think produced 2 years ago. This Jefferson Keys album.
Let's go to the Audioquest. Check this song out.
Yeah, I think it was full of dynamics.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
You really heard the sub bass. It was fast. Yeah. I think you have been swinging it home as well. Audioquest first, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a hand?
No, this is okay. The Torus is just very, very heavy. Alright, let's check. This is the power amp. This is the metrum. That's easy.
Finished already.
I marked the plugs now.
That's better.
I was tired of phasing everything.
Okay.
Let's get back.
Max on?
Not yet. The reason I do it quicker now, and I advise you to do the same, I was stupid to not do this. Phase mark all the plugs, then you always know how to put them in back if you disabled your system or whatever. Yeah, it's on.
2000.
Ik hem al uit. Whew. Okay. Well, all the comments say enough.
Okay.
Say it all, I guess. I definitely like this sound for this song. This is almost the perfect system. The bass is punchy.
Yeah.
It's quick. You had more sweet spot over there.
Yeah, you could hear so much more detail. Also in the voices, there are two types of reverb in the voices, in the vocals, and you could hear when in a sweet spot. You could hear that he was altering or it was I don't know, it was a filter, I don't know, but it was a kind of a reverberation. It was very subtle. I didn't hear that in earlier versions, even not in my home. I recall.
How would you say it compared to the Torus? I think the Torus was very nice.
Yeah, it was creamy.
Yeah, it was a bit creamy and nice, and for the piano it was very suitable.
Also the bass guitar.
Yeah.
You could really hear so much detail in the bass. And the nice thing is that, sorry Ryle, it is not the recording is okay, but it's not a high end. Let's say a stockfish recording with high end microphones. Maybe there are, but it's meant for dancing. You know, this is meant to slam the bass and stuff, and yeah.
I think this was quicker.
Faster, yeah.
Yeah, it was a faster one. The Bryston is of course a very difficult amp, and it needs a lot of power. And I think the Niagara does a better job at driving the power amp than the Torus.
Yeah,
I think. We reviewed the Torus before, and that's the bigger brother, and it had no issues at all. Absolutely none.
But the bigger brother is really...
Whew! It's like a power amp. Well, it is a power amp.
It has 4 or 5 transformers.
It's ridiculous. But that one did work.
But price-wise?
Yeah, 6,000 or something. It's really expensive. Let's go to the Shunyata with this track. Yep. All right.
Is the price included the
power cord?
Cords?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and both have quite an expensive one. All the way around. Jung, I hate reviewing power filters.
Yeah.
It's a shitty job.
But someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it. Yep. Okay. Like this. Okay. Like this. Okay. They're all heavy and...
Well, and the power inlets are very tight.
Yeah, with the Hydra, they're very tight. Yeah, but it's supposed to. And let's be honest, who changes power cables every 5 minutes?
We do.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Okay, change the mics.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Right. Well, what do you think? Is this different? Is it better? Is it worse? Don't you hear any difference? We would like to know. Oh, yeah, I got the right camera. We have one more track, and with the last track we go back to the Kemp as well, as a bonus, and maybe if you like it we can put the Bryston directly into the wall to show you that difference. It's huge, I can tell you that. Yeah, a little less involving for me. Not bad at all, but I still prefer the one before. Yeah, honestly, me too.
Yeah, I think with the piano music I like more the Hydra.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, but and it's fast, but it seemed to me that there was more emphasis in the upper mid range, which made it more tiring to me.
Yeah.
But
same.
then again, it's totally independent, fully independent on your system.
Yeah, it is. Like I said before, the vocals are quite energetic. The metrum as well. I forgot to mention that, but the metrum is a very, very fast DA converter. And
so I could imagine when you would have a
at home, I would definitely consider the Hydra.
Or when you have a vacuum tube amp.
Yeah,
might be very, very nice with it, because it can add some fastness, some crispness into the sound.
Yeah.
And
in this system, the Audioquest is a better match.
Yeah.
But please, people, again, always try at home before you buy an energy filter.
You know, at this level, there is no good or bad.
No.
It's different. And
they're
we
all
try
different.
to share with you the differences we hear, and we're glad that also you can perceive them.
Yeah.
Because there are differences, and it's amazing how.
Yeah, they're very different.
How different, pretty upmarket, 3 upmarket power filters or reconditioners are.
Yeah. Okay, last track.
Is it a reconditioner?
It's a power conditioner. And you have also power regenerators.
That's PS.
PS audio, power plants, for example.
These are very expensive.
Yeah, but they have a different purpose. I think what Keith did with your demo at the Isotech was a regenerator. So the power is very constant, but regenerators don't filter. They just regenerate the sinus. And that's a different approach. Regenerators are very handy for preamps, for example. If you combine them in a filter, then you have very clean, very stable power. And that's what you need with a motor drive for a turntable. But that's an all different story and a completely different product.
But it's good to know, because you have generators and regenerators. And regenerators are a different league, both in terms of price and
they are expensive,
technique,
and they're totally not suitable for power amps.
No.
They just can't deliver the current they need. So never, ever, ever try a serial filter with a power amp or a regenerator with a power amp, because it won't work.
You made one, right?
I made one, in the factory.
Is this the one you made?
No, it's at home, I guess. Yeah. I have my name on it. It's pretty cool. Thank you again. But no Isotech in this lineup. And that's a pity, because we asked for one and they couldn't deliver. That's a pity.
But Isotech is in the process of making a new lineup.
Yeah.
We cannot tell
maybe
too much about it.
That's the reason. Yeah.
And they're still working very hard, and they're still active. So
it's a good thing,
in spite of the Corona stuff.
Yeah.
So let's try some vocal.
Yeah, some vocal work. Yes. On to the next track. And people, if there are any questions, and I see some questions in the chat, as soon as the song starts, I'm gonna answer all the questions. Let's put on some vocal work.
This is from a Dutch singer, and also jazz own compositions.
All right. Yep.
eyes at all the colors of the sky. Her golden hair would lighten up the darkest day, and with a smile she would enchant you right away. Everyone already knew she was a special one the day that she was born. She could see the world in colors we would never see. She was wiser than the oldest man in town. She walked around, looked up and down and saw it all. But sometimes the color made her feel so down. And she would point at the sky and with a sigh, it'll change from gray to blue. Why exactly is the grass so green today? Wouldn't it be nice to see it blue? All the leaves must be painted in a different way. That's what she said and now I see it too.
And we're back. I think this was very suitable for the Hydra. It's a jazzy song. I'm not really fond of jazz, but this was a nice song. Yeah. Nice vocal work.
Yeah.
And it's not too big bandish. Sorry, Jung.
No. Well, I happen to know all these musicians. Actually, I played this with them, and I felt totally out of place because I wasn't really matched with the skills of these musicians. But
you did the key part?
Not on this one.
Oh,
but
okay.
On a live, we had a gig.
Cool.
And Zosha is very, her voice is very crisp.
Yeah, she has a very lovely voice.
And saxophone Bart Weerts, soprano saxophone. Well, so
let's go to the Audioquest.
What were the comments on?
They liked it, but there's no comparison yet.
No.
So we go to the Audioquest now and check
And
out.
I think why does jazz work with it? Because jazz need mid-range.
Yeah.
It needs mid-range. It has already a pretty well, the bass is both the highs and the lows are very pronunciated. And then a fast mid-range is good, and also that it's a fast device. It delivers fast response. There's some idiot driving by
Wow.
with I don't know what speed. Yeah, it's surprising how different music matches with different devices.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is. Almost finished, Jung.
No, that's okay. I'll just walk the talk. But should you say then, no, you're not supposed to begin with your power stuff, right?
Yeah, you should actually.
But if it differs so much depending on your set,
Yeah.
if I would have a tube amplifier, I would maybe have to consider a different thingy than when I would have a high-pex system or so.
That's true, but I always advise start with power cables, then signal cables. No.
But I mean, would you start with the your power supply, and then choose your electronics, or differently?
No, first choose your electronics, then use good power cables, then go to power conditioning.
Okay.
You shouldn't buy a big power conditioner first. No.
I got the power.
I've got the power.
Okay. Mic's on?
Yes, they are. And go. Jesus.
Once upon a time there was a little girl. Her eyes had all the colors of the sky. Her golden hair would lighten up the darkest day, and with a smile she would enchant you right away. Everyone already knew she was a special one the day that she was born. She could see the world in colors we would never see. She was wiser than the oldest man in town. She walked around, looked up and down and saw it all. But sometimes the color made her feel so down. And she would point at the sky and with a sigh, it'll change from gray to blue. Why exactly is the grass so green today? Wouldn't it be nice to see it blue? All the leaves must be painted in a different way. That's what she said, and now I see it too. Paint the world and make it change every day. Tell the world what you want to say. it'll change from gray to blue. Paint the world and make it change every day. Tell the world what you want to say. Find the perfect shade to suit your mood. Something else is just no good. Paint the world and make it change every day. Tell the world what you want to say. Find the perfect shape to suit your mood. Something else is just no good.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, that was different.
Yeah.
And
But what we just said, it was a little bit as if the Audioquest is a little bit in between the Torus and the Shunyata in terms, the Shunyata is a little bit more. It's very fast.
yeah,
But maybe too much in this setup again.
yeah,
And the Torus is very creamy in this setup again.
yeah. We'll try it. I'm
And
very
the match
curious.
the match with the Audioquest and the system is
It's very good.
it's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I got more involved
Yeah.
when she started singing. I was like, wow, I want to listen.
Yeah.
And with the Shunyata, it was less. It's still very
And
good.
I think if for this system, it would be best to have the Isotech
Yeah,
with the Bryston and the rest with the Audioquest.
I think so. That would be magical. We can try. It's a very expensive setup, but it would be very nice. I'm gonna try the Torus now.
Yeah.
And after that, we're gonna
Lastly,
put it straight into the wall, and then we're finished because it's
It's 11:30 already.
11:30, and I promised 90 minutes, and we're already past
Yeah,
that.
maybe
Sorry.
Is it worthwhile to do that on the wall? Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, make the big difference audible. So people, if you, I think it's 15 minutes, and then we're finished. We're gonna try the Torus now, and after that, we're gonna put it straight into the wall.
Okay. So what's the difference, between this Niagara and the other one, the first one?
You mean the 1200?
Yeah.
This one has a battery capacity. This one has better components, but mostly the reservoir of 55 amps for the power amp is a big difference. So the power amp has more current to work with. And for me that makes all the difference. I reviewed the 1200, and honestly the 1200 is not nearly as good as this.
Or it was also a different price.
Very different price. Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say that the 1200 is cheap, but it's a lot cheaper. Wow, it makes a weird noise with the Torus.
Yeah, I think that's something with maybe with the transformers or so.
It's trying to pull current, and it's like it doesn't get it. It's a weird noise.
Yes, it's like it has a power shortage.
Yeah. All right.
It's
Well,
already on.
it's on.
Microphone's on.
Yeah. Now we need to hear how it sounds plugged directly into the wall. No, not yet. We're gonna do that after the Torus.
It's on.
Yep.
Once upon a time there was a little girl. Her eyes had all the colors of the sky. Her golden hair would lighten up the darkest day, and with a smile she would enchant you right away. Everyone already knew she was a special one the day that she was born. She could see the world in colors we would never see. She was wiser than the oldest man in town. She walked around, looked up and down and saw it all. But sometimes the color made her feel so down. And she would point at the sky and with a sigh, it'll change from gray to blue. Why exactly is the grass so green today? Wouldn't it be nice to see it blue? All the leaves must be painted in a different way. That's what she said and now I see it too. It'll change from gray to blue. Paint the world and make it change every day. Tell the world what you want to say. Find the perfect shade to suit your mood. Something else is just no good. Paint the world and make it change every day. Tell the world what you want to say.
Well, we're back.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what to say. It's a big difference with the Audioquest. I'm just gonna say it out blunt. I don't like this in this system. It's not fast enough. The bass is muddy, and I heard some phase shifting issues that made me wonder whether it is doing something wrong with the power amp, because it sounds weird when starting up and it sounds muddy and slow.
Yeah, when we power it up, you heard tick, tick, tick,
Tack,
you
tack,
just
tack,
like
tack.
when you're starting a motor, your engine, and your battery is not delivering enough power for the starting engine.
Yeah, it needs to
Like-
fill some
like that.
reservoirs, and normally it's a stage. You hear click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click. And now it's like click, 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 click. And with both other competitors, there's no issue at all.
No, and especially the drums, they sounded didn't sound to me like drums.
No, there were some
like
noise.
You're hitting on a cushion or something.
Yeah, it's like
there was a kind of a dullness in the sound, which was
yeah, but
that's why we put it off a minute earlier, because we it wasn't pleasant to listen to.
It wasn't pleasant, but this is exactly my experience with a lot of filters combined with power amps. You get some softness, but you get a fine in speed and in refinement and in air. And that's exactly what is happening here. You think you hear more calmness, but if you listen closely, it's slow.
No.
And well, if you compare it to the Audioquest and the Shunyata, you definitely hear a difference in speed.
And you can hear it really depends on what music you're listening to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Piano is more subtle. Disco dance reveals
a lot. Yeah.
Because it's often like this. And jazz is, this recording. It's not the best recording I've heard, but it's a good recording. It's more than good enough to hear the differences.
You can definitely hear differences. But as a bonus, sorry, I was
no
cutting
we
you
have
off.
the high end, ultra high
end power chord.
Power strip.
It's a bonus. I didn't plan for this, but I wanted to let you know what the difference, and let you hear what the difference is between an IKEA power distribution strip without any filtering and this high-end loveliness, to name it.
With switch mode, on off.
It's switch mode. It's a switch mode power supply.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
No, don't.
Let's cut this off. Yeah. So, no high-endish stuff now. I'm gonna put it straight into the wall.
Polarity check?
Yes, of course, we will.
So, and what song shall you play? The last song?
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah.
That's still fresh in memory. I hope they fit in. Oh man,
that's big ones.
Lovely. Okay, like this.
You want the noise filter first?
No,
to
I'm not
check?
gonna do anything. To make it clear,
Is the switch mode on?
the switch mode is on. No weird noises.
Maybe it sounds the best.
Let's hope not.
Jules, pray.
We will fail miserably if this sounds good.
Jules praying now.
Yeah, she was praying now. Okay.
On?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, go.
Once upon a time there was a little girl. Her eyes had all the colors of the sky. Her golden hair would lighten up the darkest day, and with a smile she would enchant you right away. Everyone already knew she was a special one the day that she was born. She could see the world in colors we would never see. She was wiser than the oldest man in town. She walked around, looked up and down and saw it all. But sometimes the color made her feel so down. And she would point at the sky and with a sigh, it'll change from gray to blue. Why exactly is the grass so green today? Wouldn't it be nice to see it blue? All the leaves must be painted in a different way. That's what she said, and now I see it too. Shade
All right. Well, honestly, it got back the speed in the bass, and I have to admit there is still a parallel filter next to the power strip. I forgot to pull it out. I'll prove it.
Okay.
There's an isotech next to it.
Okay.
So it is not completely unfiltered. Oh! Okay. You?
More harsh.
Yeah. Put it back near the sax, because then you hear what this can do. Okay, well, this really works. And there's still some decent power cables in there. But what we noticed, and you noticed as well, is that it lacks top energy. And top energy also makes the stereo imaging go wider and deeper. Including bass, by the way, but the focus and the depth and the width of the stereo imaging is mostly because of the high energy in the upper highs, and that was lacking a little bit.
Yeah, it was very, the cymbals. They didn't sound like cymbals.
No,
but it was, it was not unpleasant to listen to. Let's
no, it wasn't all bad, because it's a good system and they have their power supplies in order, but you can do better with a decent filter, I think. Well, I think this is the end.
Yes,
this is the end.
We hope you liked it, and we hope we demonstrated the differences in power filters, power conditioners, and that we cannot stress enough how important it is to listen to it on your own system. A good dealer will provide you, will give you ample time to test it, because at this level it's quite some money. It's quite expensive. So, and there are real differences between brands, between the techniques that are used. So we have. I'm glad we have some very different performing devices.
Yeah, they are different in terms of technology, in terms of sound, and what's best is what's best in your system. Remember that. You heard the differences. I hope we made clear that you can use a filter and that there are audible differences, and that you should try it at home. In this system, the Audioquest was for me the most pleasant and most fitting.
Yeah, overall. Yeah.
At home, I would definitely try the Shunyata as well, and maybe with some, I don't know, very bright systems or a name, you can use a Torus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could work.
Could work.
So, thank you for watching. We're gonna have lunch.
Yeah.
It's 20 past our time we promised, but thank you for watching.
Enjoy your weekend.
And see you next time.
Next week, right?
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. Friday, 10 o'clock in the morning. See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.